Welcome to Art Talk Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Art Talk Tuesday. Got a new piece here for you today that has been a long time in the making. As you've seen in my previous video about my Astral Dream piece, I'm still working with the theme of dreams. Actually, the Astral Dream piece you saw last week was the third piece in the dream stuff that I've been working on. This is actually the second piece. It is companion to my original dream piece called Dreamer, and this one is called The Dream, or Dreaming, whichever you prefer. Still trying to work out the details on that part. But as you can see, another piece here. So I've been working, or Spirit has been working with me on this whole notion of dreams and dreaming. Been having some very vivid dreams and really looking at the symbolism and what they may have to teach me. For some reason, I've just been really intrigued with this, and I feel like it's opened me up as an artist, giving me an opportunity to explore some other things that I'm not quite familiar with and to kind of paint in a different way. It's requiring me to think in a different way in order to kind of put some of the imagery together that comes in the dreams. Because as you know, dreams can be very disconcerting. They can often put elements together that may seem disparate in many ways, and they flow all into one another. So I've got this idea of different things flowing in and out, things that may or may not always seem like they should belong in the same plane together in the same picture. So just kind of playing with that whole notion of this otherworldly, very spiritual way of being in the world. And that's what I'm trying to present here with this dream series. So this is number 2. It's called Dreaming, or The Dream. And what we have here, the image is 16 inches tall by 12 inches wide. So 12 by 16. And I'm not sure where to jump in, so we'll just start at the top. Here at the top, you see we have 2 figures. Both of them are ascended masters. One is in the more Hindu or Buddhist tradition. You can see that ascended master, he's sitting here meditating and hands in a mudra this way. The other figure here is more in the Egyptian tradition. Ascended master, you see that there's standing here holding an ankh with a lamp, both in the triangle shape. So reiterating that shape of the triangle. Both have the mandala, or the symbol of power around the head. This whole idea of lightning and thunder symbol is always a symbol of the divine, particularly if you look in the Bible and the Christian tradition, you see many times when God arrives or the divine is present, there will be thunder, lightning, and such the elements, as God being master of all creation, master of the elements. So the divine coming in. Then we also see the moon here. I know some people want to get confused, say it's the sun. No, it's not the sun, it's the moon. And moon is always a symbol of that which lies beneath the surface. Moon associated with the night, with darkness, with dreams, because that is the time when we mostly do our sleeping and dreaming. And this notion of the moon. So playing around with this idea, bright, full moon. You see we have the 3 wolf figures here, wolf-like figures. One is in the center, is howling, silhouetted howling up towards the moon. As we know, oftentimes wolves will sing their howls to the moon. This whole idea of there being 3 of them, 3 we know is a number of the Trinity, also a number of Father, Son, Holy Ghost. It can be birth, death, renewal. It can be all sorts of things. So the whole idea of the 3 of them as a pack. And just in general culture, symbolic culture, wolf is a very powerful spirit and animal. They're communal animals because they do travel in packs. You will see some by themselves, and sometimes they do go out to be alone, but generally they are pack animals. They're also symbols of strength and community. And so this whole idea of finding this in the dream. These characters here are actually Chinese characters for dream, or the dream, dreaming. So they're in here. So just playing around with symbols from different cultures. I know a lot of times I work with the Ascended Master Sanat Kumar, who often looks in this manner to me. So playing around here, this whole idea of this figure being recessed back into this, what we could say valley, we could say cul-de-sac, I don't know what you want to call it. This whole idea of this figure being pushed back into this kind of valley, this kind of shape in here. Because we see we got rocks, rock formation here, as these wolves are along this bridge. Because oftentimes our dreams are a bridge between that which is seen and that which is unseen, between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And so this whole idea of dreams being a bridge, and these figures, these spirit guides, these animals, these ascended masters as guides who are above the bridge, but yet they are connected to it, and see, connecting down into the world of the dreams, into the area of the physical person. And so the figure here, she's asleep, she's dreaming, lying in her bed, asleep, lying within this thing, asleep. We see here, down here, we've got the dream catcher, Native American symbol, supposed to be a symbol of protection while one is dreaming, particularly if you have negative or dreams of nightmares. The dream catcher is supposed to catch those. Also, we have the figure here of Kokopele, the trickster. Many traditions, Native American traditions, he's also seen as a god of fertility and some other things. But in this particular instance, I am using him here as the trickster, because often the dreams can be very tricky. We think things are one way, and then all of a sudden everything completely changes and they're another way. We get lured into a situation thinking it's one thing in our dreams, and then it could become a nightmare or something else. So this whole idea of being trickster, you're never quite sure that you're on steady ground or what's going on. This whole idea you see here of the little spaceship I've got here, symbolizing other beings, other worlds, other possibilities. And coming out of this, we consider a portal here, the spaceship coming out of this portal, symbolizing the whole idea of travel to other places, other dimensions come through the portal, other beings, other lifetimes, other ways of being. And you notice I've kept the palette pretty similar, even with the other piece, the first one. The palette is very similar here, kind of using the same colors, repeating the reds, the oranges, the greens, the yellows, and just really playing around to kind of keep the palette overall consistent, because I wanted to have a certain feel. And so this kind of gives everything kind of a feel. I think it's kind of a dreamy feel, very, I don't want to say nebulous, but kind of ethereal, if you really see the original. The owl here is an important spiritual figure. People really don't realize, but the owl is very important. Owl often symbolizes that which is unseen. They're known as creatures to be wise, and so a symbol of wisdom. Why? Because they can see in the dark. They can see those things that are often hidden to the rest of us that we don't see as well. And they see keenly, acutely, astute vision, calculated vision. That is where they get their wisdom from, being able to see and observe what others cannot. And so this whole idea of the owl being here as a symbol of wisdom and seeing into the unseen, into the unknown, which is what we do in our dream state. We often see into situations, places, and people that we might not have been able to see with our conscious mind, if we are able to understand the symbols that are being presented to us. And then the star right here, just a symbol of the divine, symbol of travel through other places. Then I've got this, just kind of just this tree. Something about trees and me right now with the dream thing is just very important. I've got this in all three of the images as some type of tree figure. Not sure what that's going on, but Spirit keeps leading me. I feel drawn to put that in there, so I put it in there. Also, I think trees are very grounding, despite the fact that we are leaving our body sometimes and that we're in this other state in our dreams. We are grounded. Sleep is a very grounding thing. The body regrounds itself, reconnects to the earth. And so this whole idea of, even in spite of what seems like we may be off in flights of fantasy, we are still very much grounded into the physical world. So then we look in here, we've got this whole idea of the sea, got the sea of dreams, right? We're sailing along on the sea of dreams, and people often use that colloquialism. And then this whole idea of just this valley here, right? Walking through, I'm often reminded of the scene in the movie Gladiator, when at the beginning and at the end, when he's walking through the field, and they show his hands touching the wheat, and he's walking through this field of dreams in his dream. So this whole idea of just this seeming reality. Just playing around with this notions, and you see I wanted to use this to push the figure back. So these elements here are bringing things forward. This rock formation here in the front, bringing forward, kind of creating a little cup that we can see, and then this is pushing everything back, pushing the figure back into this kind of cup, this kind of cul-de-sac with the background here surrounding her. So we don't know from what we're looking at. I wanted this purposely to be nebulous, whether the figure's head is lying back on this rock formation or whether it's not touching it. So we're playing around with this idea. Is this C here coming up forming the clothing on the figure, or is it not? Just want to leave things ambiguous and nebulous, because that's the way we kind of interpret things in our dream. This desert here, which is leading us back, seeing us back into this cul-de-sac here. Everything is pushing us back with the symbols in front surrounding. You see, we've got this kind of creating this whole kind of thing here around, with just kind of cupping and bowling this figure into this whole dream. You see, she's in a deep state of sleep. She's asleep, dreaming, being accompanied by spirit guides, by spirit animals, the trickster element, safety through the dream catcher. So just playing around with these notions. That's what this piece is about. I don't remember what I valued these at, but you can look on my website and get the exact price, or you can email me directly, info@damonpowell.com, and find out how much it is. Hopefully I'll get a chance to show these sometime soon. I don't know how many I'm going to do. Spirit will let me know. Right now, I know there's going to be one more for sure. Not sure what it's going to look like yet. Still praying about it, but it will come. They always do. And thank you for tuning in. Until next time, peace.